Now, Liverpool are hoping to make it 6 wins out of 6 when they make the trip to Selhurst Park on Saturday. Our reporter Vinny O'Connor is watching their training session for us this afternoon. Vinny, good to see you. Look, not too many concerns for Arne Slot to worry about, but Giovanni Leoni, what's the update there?
Yeah, obviously he's not at training at the moment, but I'll step out the way so you can see exactly what's going on. But it looks like really desperate news for young Giovanni Leoni after his debut for Liverpool against Southampton in the AFL Cup the other night. Played 81 minutes, and for a lot of that, it looked like the perfect debut, but in the end going off with what looks to be an ACL injury, the £26 million who joined from Parma. And, of course, he's thanked the fans and thanked all the support that he's had since suffering that injury as well. We're still to get full confirmation from that, of course, as to the full extent of that injury. We'll get that tomorrow, actually, when we speak to Arne Slot in his pre-match news conference ahead of that game against Crystal Palace. But at the end of the day as well, Liverpool do have plenty of options at centre-half. I know it's not an ideal situation for them because they have 3 first-choice centre-halves, if you like, in Van Dijk, Konate and Joe Gomez, now having lost Leoni. But they do have other players who can play at centre-half as well. Both Endo and Ryan Gravenberch can play there, of course. Andy Robertson has filled in at centre-half as well. They did miss out on Mark Guéhi on the final day of the transfer window, as we know. And I know the attitude around Liverpool is it would be foolish to walk away from a player that they came so close to signing as well. So we await how developments go on that in terms of what happens in January or possibly at the end of the season. We should also remember, of course, that Liverpool still have Reece Williams about the place. The last time he made a start for Liverpool was actually against Crystal Palace back in May 2021, as Liverpool were able to secure Champions League qualification, finishing third. They beat Crystal Palace 2-0 that day. Reece Williams partnering Nat Phillips at centre-half, but Reece Williams not actually training with the first-team squad at the moment here at Liverpool. But as I say, they do have options. It's just a really disappointing situation, the fact that it looks like Leoni is going to miss a large part of the season now with that injury he picked up against Southampton the other night.
Well, someone else who's going to be missing, Liverpool going to be without Hugo Ekitike this weekend as he's suspended. This has been a massive talking point, hasn't it, Vinny? So
Liverpool's preparations for their upcoming Premier League clash with Crystal Palace have been overshadowed by a mixture of absences, setbacks, and concerns that could significantly affect Arne Slot's matchday plans. A training session at Kirkby earlier today revealed a few worrying developments, sparking discussion among fans about squad depth and rotation. The most notable absence was Giovanni Leoni, who did not participate in training. The highly rated youngster, who has been impressing in recent weeks, was nowhere to be seen on the pitches as Slot put his squad through their paces. While Liverpool have not yet issued an official statement, his absence immediately raised eyebrows, with supporters speculating whether it was due to a knock, illness, or precautionary rest. With defensive depth already under scrutiny this season, Leoni's situation will be closely monitored before the squad announcement. Another key talking point was Hugo Ekitike. Despite his dramatic winner in the EFL Cup against Southampton followed by his controversial red card for excessive celebration, reports suggest that Slot does not plan to start him against Crystal Palace. Instead, Ekitike is expected to feature from the bench. The decision seems tactical, with Slot wary of easing him into the Premier League starting 11 after his emotional midweek cameo. Some fans agree with the cautious approach, while others argue that his match-winning instinct is exactly what the team needs from the outset. The biggest concern of the day, however, was surrounding Alexander Isak. During the session, the Swedish striker reportedly picked up a minor injury. Eyewitnesses described him pulling up awkwardly during a routine drill before being assessed by medical staff and withdrawn from the session as a precaution. While the extent of the injury is not yet known, any potential setback would be a major blow for Liverpool. Isak had just begun to find rhythm after scoring his first goal for the club in the EFL Cup win against Southampton, and fans were hoping he could carry that momentum into the league campaign. The timing could not be worse, with Crystal Palace visiting Anfield in what promises to be a challenging fixture. Slot now faces the prospect of rethinking his attacking setup if Isak is deemed unfit. Mohamed Salah remains the focal point of the attack, but Liverpool's forward line will need reshuffling if both Isak and Ekitike are unavailable to start. Chiesa, who impressed with his pressing and creativity in midweek, could be pushed higher up, while Diogo Jota might be asked to shoulder more responsibility in the centre. Defensively, the absence of Leoni adds another layer of concern. Slot has already been forced to rotate heavily to manage fatigue, and with a congested schedule, every player counts. If Leoni's absence stretches into matchday, it could limit options from the bench in case of injuries or tactical adjustments during the game.